humans and AI systems together are better than either one is alone. And that's a good way to think about the future.
Let me start, John, by thanking you. It's always an honor and privilege to be spending time with you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Navin. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you also for helping me during my PhD program when I was a noob student and giving me some guidance. As a luminary in the tech industry, you have seen many technology cycles from 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2020. So what is your take on this AI wave?
Yeah, my take is this is probably the biggest technology wave that's occurred, surpassing the personal computer, the internet, the World Wide Web. This is even bigger because it's universality, because it is about intelligence and making intelligent systems. So its universality is dramatic, and it's going to have a gigantic impact on how we do things, how we live.
Absolutely. And my belief is we're entering a collaborative intelligence era, and humans hopefully get elevated to levels they couldn't do things before, right? You've also been a pioneer from the early days in computing architectures, the semiconductor industry. So where do you see the future of computing and semiconductors, right? Like, where is this heading?
Yeah, it's certainly a challenging time because while Moore's law isn't falling off the edge, it's definitely slowing down, particularly with respect to power and energy requirements, which are really the key limit in so many of these designs now. But as this shift to machine learning becomes the way we build so many systems, it has dramatically larger requirements in terms of computation. So figuring out both the core technology we're going to use, but also the architecture. And we've already seen it with NVIDIA and accelerators and this move towards a much more efficient way of doing those kinds of computations.
Both of us have seen, like quantum talked about, on and off. Does that play a certain role in this revolution?
What quantum does really well, it does applications that have intensive computing with small data. It does those really well. That's not all applications. It's a limited number of things. It turns out that factoring is an application that fits in that space relatively well. But there are others that won't fit necessarily, and quantum won't become the technology. So it's more of an add-on kind of thing eventually as we figure out how to make it work with larger size.
So what do you think are the human skills which become the most valuable in this new era? Right? Because we have a lot of skills, and now technology is a tool, AI is a tool, you can talk to it. So what of our skills, right? Like as humans, are going to become the most valuable for us that we should be amplifying?
I think certainly creative problem solving remains really central to what humans can do that's really different. Now, it'll be creative problem solving with a whole set of AI tools as your accompaniment. I mean, look what's happening in science now as we begin to think about applying some of these AI tools to fundamental difficult problems in material science or mechanical engineering or other fields. I think we're going to see lots of progress on that, but the humans are still going to be a critical part of the element. Another way to think about this is humans and AI systems together are better than either one is alone. And that's a good way to think about the future.
What do you think distinguishes a great institution from a good one, right? Like you've seen it. You've run these institutions, right? Like, so what makes a great institution?
So I think a couple of things. I think an emphasis on excellence, figuring out what you really do that's world class and really focusing on that and maintaining it and enhancing it. And together with that is kind of innovation, because over time, certain fields stabilize, they plateau. And it's not where the innovation is anymore, where the opportunity is. So you've got to be willing to reinvent yourself periodically. And we used to say about Stanford, in a university, every day is a first day. And that's the way you need to think about the opportunity before you. And getting companies to really focus on that and think about keeping that innovative cycle alive is critical.
What's your advice first for students? And then what's your advice for entrepreneurs?
Well, I think my advice for students is to continue to push yourself, to run faster. The way to stay ahead is to really ensure that you remain at the cutting edge. And when you're a student, what you're learning is how to be a lifelong learner and how to be a lifelong contributor. So being comfortable learning new things, it's really learning to learn. And I think for entrepreneurs, the situation they often find themselves in is they're exploring a new space. They've got to be willing to really focus, make a decision. Is something really working, or do we need to change? So many of the companies I've seen have gone through evolution in order to make themselves successful. And that willingness to be flexible and to change what you're doing is critical if you're going to be successful.
Thank you again for taking the time. It's a privilege to be spending time with you, and thanks for your advice and words of wisdom. Thank you.
My pleasure.